Great to see you here at the Weather Network. Coming up, we've got a look at traffic. Rachel Schutzen standing by, and we've got cloud tops across the country. And I want to tell you what's going on in southern Ontario, but I really want you to see this dynamic pattern colored in the cloud top so you can see areas of low pressure. This is a blizzard in the territories in Hudson Bay, and this low is pushing south. It'll affect us. And look at this massive plume. This is the Hawaiian or Pineapple Express. Moisture-laden systems coming from Hawaii. Often they crash into the BC coast, bring Vancouver a lot of rain. They're hitting Alaska, and the flow is warming up Whitehorse. They are above zero again today. Where are we? We are well below zero. Minus 17 in Newmarket and Barrie right now. Minus 22, how it feels in Toronto. Wind chill as well. Warning all through the south, including Hamilton for tonight. And the winds out of the southwest. We've got snow squalls in the forecast for the Lake Ontario shoreline and also the Lake Erie shoreline. So whiteouts possible. Niagara and towards Kingston for Friday. As this low moves in, we will be seeing snow, but particularly blowing snow and lots of windy weather. As far as the snow forecast is concerned, for tomorrow, late day, the GTA, into Saturday morning, snow easing up in the afternoon, but you might not be able to tell because the winds are going to be so strong. 10 to 15 centimeters of snow to the east of Georgian Bay, down through Kingston, the east side of Toronto, and 5 to 10 around Toronto and Hamilton. Speaking of Hamilton, I mean, winter is a beautiful season. It's been a whopping 6 times, but it's bringing beautiful ice sculptures to our shorelines, and that one of the many waterfalls in the Hamilton area. And thanks to our viewer for that video. Minus 9 Friday, warmer to minus 3 on Saturday, low visibility, blowing snow, particularly in open areas. Highway 7, Highway 407, if you're heading to ski country, if you're heading on the west side of the GTA through the Milton area around the escarpment, blowing snow. Much colder Monday into next week, and more snow is coming Sunday night into Monday. Cold Arctic air is poised to move back in for next week. Coming up, Rachel has your traffic. My director and cameraman extraordinaire. Sundogs, when it's very cold, any moisture in the atmosphere can condense out with these ice crystals at low enough levels. With the light refraction through the ice crystals, you get mirror images of the sun. So a lot of people commenting, sending us photos today. Sundogs. It's our turn to see them. They're a little more common or frequently seen in the prairie provinces. Wanted to show you the cloud tops here because this is the Arctic air that is continuing to flow south. Not only that, there's a blizzard in parts of the Canadian North today, and this low is headed south towards us. Also, massive plume of energy here coming from the vicinity of Hawaii all the way up to Alaska. That's the Hawaiian Express, not soggy for Vancouver, but it's coming for the territories and for Alaska as well. Minus 14, we are well entrenched in this air mass, even colder in Ottawa, Montreal. Wind chill warnings for tonight. The temperatures are going to drop. The wind chills will be in the minus 30s again, so we've got those wind chill warnings, also some blowing snow related warnings for the east side of Lake Ontario and also Lake Erie. Going to see some snow pick up tomorrow night through Saturday. So poor driving conditions are coming, Rachel, especially open areas. But the drive right now, you've got some problem areas like the 400.
Absolutely, Suzanne. Lots to talk about weather-wise, and same thing going on traffic-wise right now.
Lots of interesting stuff coming up in the long-range forecast. Something we've been talking about off camera here. A couple of low-pressure systems coming our way with low visibility. Some might call it near blizzard conditions. Plus, after a very brief reprieve, back into the deep freezer again next week. Coming up, traffic, and of course, we'll tell you about your weather patterns across the country. They continue to dig out and clean up the U.S. Northeast and then Atlantic Canada. The blizzards moved on. There's another blizzard, and it's coming our way. Yeah, it's going to be moving all the way south from Baker Lake and Chesterfield Inlet. Yes, those are real names. All the way down towards Bracebridge and then Mississauga. It's on the way. And this plume of moisture comes from Hawaii to Alaska. Talk about far-flung U.S. states, but that's how they're connected today. What we've got after a very cold start is a minus 22 wind chill in Toronto. And I was just having a look at Muskoka. They are minus 24 right now, air temperature. And no, let me correct that. They were minus 24 this morning. They were minus 37 yesterday morning, if you can believe it, minus 37. So if you've got property or interests or you just love going to the Muskoka region, that's how cold it was. Now, Rachel mentioned the last time we spoke, unfortunately, snow coming for the weekend. This is just the first little hint of it. Wind chill warnings for tonight. It'll feel like the minus 30s again. We've got blowing snow warnings already issued around Lake Huron and Georgian Bay with strong southwesterlies that are going to bring whiteout conditions. Snow squall watch for Belleville, Kingston, and this is for Friday afternoon, evening, and we may see one pop up as well for the Niagara region. Watch the wind arrows here. They'll switch around to the west, then the southwest, and watch the colors as they intensify. The winds picking up sustained 50, gusts 80 to 90 kilometers an hour. That's in the forecast starting tomorrow evening for southern Ontario. And it'll continue through Saturday. Low visibility, especially exposed areas, open areas, including areas like the 407. We may get a lot of drifting, not a lot on the ground, a couple to 5 centimeters. Could be a bit more than that, but certainly widespread whiteout conditions are possible. And then round 2. Now, this is good news for skiers and snowboarders, but Sunday night into Monday, another round of snow and back into the cold. We might call it a blizzard. I don't think we'll have blizzard warnings this time around, but they sure did here yesterday. This is, I guess, the one or the two saving graces would be that we get most of the active weather on the weekend and then again on the weekend. In other words, we've got not one but 2 systems headed our way. Good to see you. The forecast for the weekend is headed your way, colored in the cloud top so you can see what's left of the big Atlantic blizzard. It basically shut down Philadelphia, D.C., and well, New York City to some degree, with about a foot of snow just 2 days ago. Yesterday, it was in Atlantic Canada, 37 centimeters of snow for our friends in Charlottetown. And there's a blizzard coming from the north. This is for us. Massive plume of moisture here, extending from Alaska down to Hawaii. So that's where the Pineapple Express is right now, not hitting BC. It's bringing very mild weather. Look at Whitehorse, 6 degrees, normally 20 degrees colder than that. We are not 20 off the norm, but we are certainly more than 10 degrees below normal. In Toronto, there's a wind chill warning for overnight through tomorrow morning when our temperatures will drop, and as the winds pick up with the next low, that territory system moving in, wind chills will drop to the minus 30s. And it's the wind with this low. Notice all the isobars. The more there are, the stronger the wind. The winds will be picking up through the evening hours. A little bit of snow falling for Toronto and the Golden Horseshoe. Not a lot, but it will be blowing and drifting. And then the next low comes from the same area Sunday night into Monday. That could affect the Monday morning commute. But let's, Rachel, get you home right now with the latest on the Thursday commute.
Thanks, Suzanne. Right now, we are seeing clear conditions across the GTA, but
out in Lake Ontario, and when the winds shift north, boom, that move right in. And tricky travel. And speaking of travel, Rachel's got your latest commute coming up for the GTA. Great to see you. 4:45. Oh, it doesn't look like much is happening active weather-wise in eastern Canada, but these are of concern. Here is low number 1 and some of the energy for low number 2 that will be affecting us this coming weekend. This pipeline, it's called a Pineapple Express. Systems lined up back-to-back that often, with the jet stream, crash into BC, but instead they're going way north to Alaska. Kind of an unusual pattern there. This has been an unusual winter if you compare it just to last winter. We were down to minus 18 this morning in Toronto. We're minus 14 right now. The 6th day we've been minus 18 or below this year. Last year, one time, and it was actually 1 year ago today. We got to minus 18. So yes, it has been a very cold winter. We've got wind chill warnings again. We've gone back into a very active weather pattern for what we consider a good old-fashioned winter. Lots of Arctic air, some of it coming from as far away as Siberia. Snow squall watches and blowing snow warnings for Lake Ontario and Georgian Bay, Lake Huron, respectively. If we look at the forecast, watch the wind arrows shift around to the southwest and watch the winds pick up as we get into those deeper colors for Friday, especially the evening time. The wind chills will be in the minus 30s in the morning. The winds will pick up more steadily out of the southwest late day, and that's when the snow will start. And Friday evening, overnight, Saturday daytime, whiteout conditions are going to be developing. If you're heading north, they'll start a little bit earlier, and it was minus 37 in Muskoka yesterday morning, if you can believe it. 10 to 15 centimeters of snow there. More near the shoreline, less away from the shore, and maybe a couple to 5 centimeters for Toronto Hamilton. It's not the snow, it's going to be the blowing and drifting. So wind, lowering visibility, especially in open areas. And there are plenty of those, even around the GTA. Think 407, for example. There's our cool down going into next week, and there's more snow coming for Sunday night into Monday. Now, coming up, traffic. Keith Urban's playing at the ACC tomorrow night. There's lots of indoor stuff that's fun to do, as well as outdoor stuff. It's going to warm up a little bit. If you don't have to travel far tomorrow night, get out and play in the snow. We've got this massive trough in the jet stream. There's lots of cold air. There's a blizzard in the north. That's moving south. Blizzard moving out of Atlantic Canada. And cold Arctic air is certainly with us. It is about minus 20 in Winnipeg. That's 10 below normal. And we're about 10 below normal as well in Toronto. Ottawa minus 19. Yeah, that's more than 10 degrees below normal. Wind chill warnings have been reissued for the overnight tomorrow morning. Temperatures will drop, maybe not right into the minus 24 range that we have been this week, but with the wind, it'll feel closer to minus 30. We've already got blowing snow warnings around Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, snow squall watches for Belleville, Kingston. That's because of the low that's going to bring the stronger winds tomorrow. Temperatures will actually warm up a bit, but we'll see whiteout conditions through Saturday morning, improvements late day, and then another low comes late Sunday into Monday. So visibility low in outlying areas and exposed areas in ski country areas. Rachel, you're going to take us through a busy commute now.
Years.
Well, the good news, if you're going to Acapulco or Puerto Vallarta, the cold Arctic air doesn't make it all the way to the Pacific coast of Mexico. But you'll see some cooler temperatures as we head a bit further north. 25 in Cancun. That's a lot warmer than Canada. Cozumel, down through Belize City and over to Roatan, Honduras. Yeah, still a few showers possible if you're headed there for some snorkeling or some diving. Cayo Coco, Havana, Santa Lucia, all in the mid-20s. It's a little warmer as you head south, and lots of sunshine for Aruba, Curacao. We're going to have a lot of increased active weather coverage right here at the Weather Network. Web, TV, mobile. We'll have a live stream as of 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon of the TV broadcast onto the web. So keep that in mind. And the reason, well, we don't have to look far. We just look at the cloud tops, what's going on across the continent. One blizzard that's blasted out of Atlantic Canada, basically shut down Washington, D.C. just a couple days ago. Big plume of moisture continues up through the Pacific, and that's where a lot of this energy is coming from. That's the blizzard right now, Hudson Bay, and you think, big deal, Hudson Bay. Well, guess what? That low is moving in, and although it's slowed down a little bit in the forecast models, it's still moving in fairly quickly. For the time being, it's a minus 13, minus 12 through minus 18 range of temperatures, feeling like the minus 20s, close to minus 30, the wind chill in Barrie. It's a bitter cold afternoon. And St. Catharines and region, there are some light flurries falling. We had complete whiteout conditions, though, this morning. Moving through the forecast, evening and particularly overnight and tomorrow morning, wind chill warnings in place. It'll feel like the minus 30s. And we've got snow squall watches for Kingston, Belleville, and that includes Prince Edward County. That's not far east of Bowmanville, Port Hope, and blowing snow warnings. We're going to get a strong southwest wind, and you can see the wind arrows shift around. Starting this evening, it will help our temperatures go up a little bit, but what happens when the low moves in? Well, those winds will be deepening, so we get to the top end of the scale with sustained winds 50 and gusts that could be double that. Now, in a moment, your long-range forecast. This is for Friday night into Saturday. We'll have enhanced storm watch coverage tomorrow. It's not a lot that's accumulating, but it will be blowing and drifting and causing whiteout conditions. So very dangerous indeed. And whiteout conditions with squalls likely to set up around Kingston, around Parry Sound. That's a lot of snow, and they've got the cold air as well. We warm up to minus 3. We drop Sunday, and into next week, more cold air with not one but 2 systems on the way. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday. Snow and blowing snow chills as well. Nobody wants to see that on the commute. Coming up, Rachel Schutzen will break down the commute. There are some problems getting out of the core today. The 400, we'll take a look at the QEW as well. Some light snow still falling down towards St. Catharines. This morning, it was close to a whiteout. Certainly, it was there were some problems, some delays, some accidents. There wasn't a lot of snow that fell, but it doesn't seem to take much. Just remember what you need to do when you're driving in snow. Extra room, and if you're not confident driving in snow, find out how. or maybe don't get behind the wheel. A couple of things to think about. A couple of lows coming our way. One is south of us. The next blizzard, and it really is a blizzard for the north, is coming south. It's bringing some very poor conditions today to the west side of Hudson Bay, down through northern Manitoba, northern Ontario. It will race down towards Mississauga and Markham and Muskoka for tomorrow. Right now it's minus 14 in Toronto. It's closer to minus 20 in Muskoka. Did you hear how cold they got yesterday? This morning was minus 24. That was bad enough for Muskoka. They were minus 37 yesterday morning. Wind chill warnings. We've also got snow squall watches, blowing snow warnings. The first low heads our way with the winds picking up steadily Friday evening, continuing Saturday, a break on Sunday. Both lows are going to bring some extensive blowing and drifting snow, especially in exposed areas. So the 401, maybe through Milton, other areas of concern, Rachel, basically anywhere where you can get that wind racing. Obviously a massive cleanup job to do. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got John DeGarris directing today, assisted by Rachel Wood, my niece. Having fun behind the scenes, Rachel and Rachel. Rachel Schutzen's coming up in just a moment. Just give me the thumbs up. That's because she wants to talk to you, not because the traffic is all that great. Because even though we don't have a lot of active weather in southern Ontario right now, we've got some serious traffic problems. The blizzard that's coming our way is up here in the north. Now, it's not going to be quite probably a blizzard for us, but extensive blowing snow will probably feel like a blizzard. We had some poor conditions around St. Catharines this morning. Current temperatures, current wind chills in blue, close to minus 30, how it feels. There are wind chill warnings. They're going to resume tonight. It'll feel well into the minus 30s. Cover up. You know what to do. Blowing snow and snow squalls. One more thing to show you before we hand it over to Rachel. Notice the winds switch around to the southwest. Our incoming low, the wind's picking up steadily. The snow comes Friday evening, continues Saturday. Whiteout conditions, Rachel, on exposed or open areas, open roads, exposed areas. But bitter cold Arctic air. Did you hear about Muskoka? Okay, who hasn't been to Muskoka at some point or other, whether it's fall foliage, summer cottages or campgrounds, winter skiing? Guess how cold yesterday? Minus 37. And Whitehorse today is close to plus 7 degrees. And the reason for this, the jet stream is riding well to the north and then plunging south, allowing all this Arctic air to pour in all the way south to Florida, where they've been spraying the crops on a wide scale with light coating of water. It freezes and it kind of protects the tender fruit and crops there. We've got low pressure to our south, and this one coming from the north is going to blast south with snow and particularly wind and whiteout conditions. Minus 16, Winnipeg and Montreal sharing the same temperature today. Whitehorse is 9 degrees. Alberta's above zero, and we've got wind chill warnings tonight. So Edmonton, Toronto, you can figure out which is the warmer place to be. Toronto, Barrie, feeling like the minus 30s. North of Barrie, snow squalls are going to set up. Blowing snow warnings are in place all the way up through the Soo. Southwest winds, and they'll cause some snow squalls as well around Prince Edward County. Here's the pattern. The more the isobars, the stronger the wind. So there's our first low. Friday evening, Friday overnight, Saturday. Blowing snow and low visibility. Complete whiteouts. In and around the GTA, maybe not in the downtown core, but exposed areas and open stretches of highways. And then Sunday night into Monday, that will be the next low. Rachel, we've got traffic problems ahead. How about now?
Oh, right now, Suzanne, we are looking at a lot of problems for those of you on the eastbound 403.
2 rounds of low pressure, and the first right now is up around Hudson Bay. It's got a long way to travel, but it's headed our way with some snow and wind, ironically with warmer temperatures, because it's going to end up being a southwest wind as this low rockets south. Great to see you. Look at this jet stream. Talk about things that have rocketed south. It's been a cold day in Florida, above zero, but not by a lot in the north. And very active weather in the west, but not for BC. Huge ridge of high pressure. So low pressure comes from Hawaii up to Alaska, believe it or not. And I bet some of this energy is eventually going to make its way towards us in southern Ontario. That's a long route. There must be more direct ways of getting to and from Hawaii. Temperatures today, not exactly Hawaiian, but 8 degrees for Calgary, very warm, 10, 15 above normal, and 10 to 15 degrees below normal. So the atmosphere is doing a bang-up job of balancing itself. But we're on the cold end of the equation here, with wind chill warnings overnight and tomorrow morning, feeling like the minus 30s. We'll have snow squalls setting up around Prince Edward County and blowing snow warnings, Huron Georgian Bay, Lake Superior, whiteout conditions. For the GTA, it won't come this evening. Notice the isobars, they're bunching together. The lows intensifying Friday night, Saturday morning, and then a break, and then Sunday night, Monday morning. Both lows will bring some modest accumulations, but the main concern is going to be whiteouts. And Rachel, that means exposed areas or open areas, even just the north end of the GTA, 407 could be whiteouts. Well, the good news, if you're going to Acapulco or Puerto Vallarta, the cold Arctic air doesn't make it all the way to the Pacific coast of Mexico. But you'll see some cooler temperatures as we head a bit further north. 25 in Cancun. That's a lot warmer than Canada. Cozumel, down through Belize City and over to Roatan, Honduras. Yeah, still a few showers possible if you're headed there for some snorkeling or some diving. Cayo Coco, Havana, Santa Lucia, all in the mid-20s. It's a little warmer as you head south, and lots of sunshine for Aruba, Curacao. Through the Niagara region. Oh, I get cold standing in this picture. My goodness. Good to see you. It's Thursday, almost at the weekend, not out of the Arctic air just yet. Not yet. Polar vortex, call it what you will. Siberian air mass. Well, this isn't quite a Siberian air mass, but we're going to connect up with that lovely flow from the far north coming up. The other thing to show you here, we'll set the stage by looking at the cloud tops. That's a very large area of low pressure coming out of the territories. And notice what's to its west. More Pacific energy. This is really interesting. Alaska to Hawaii, that connection. Often we see a Pineapple Express, a series of lows blasting into BC, but instead they're chugging up the ridge, and I would expect to see some of that energy coming our way. What's coming our way is this next low. Toronto this evening, if you're heading out at about -17, a light wind, but the winds are going to pick up overnight and tomorrow morning, feeling like the -30s, the wind chills in blue. This is really cold stuff. This morning, we were below a -18. That was our 6th day this winter. This will be our 7th day. And last winter, we had 1 day. And it was this day where we dropped to -18. We've been -23, 24 in Toronto. So it's a really strong winter pattern compared to last year, which was exceptionally mild and quiet in many ways. Wind chill warnings are in place, therefore, and also special weather statements for tomorrow that include the GTA Golden Horseshoe. That special weather statement is for the risk of snow squalls, but particularly blowing snow. The squalls will be where the snow comes on shore. Southwest winds, that's really going to push it into Parry Sound. Areas mainly north of Aurelia for tomorrow. You'll notice the winds pick up as this low approaches. And when we get into the reds, that sustained winds 40, 50 kilometers an hour, gusts double that. Not a lot of snow falling. Barrie North squalls 10 centimeters. Toronto area could be 5 centimeters of snow. Now, coming up after tomorrow night, Saturday is another low, Sunday night into Monday. Colder air next week, possible impact for Monday morning's commute, but especially overnight and Saturday during the day. Yeah, and it started today. There are movies to catch up on. And if you don't want to venture out, you can just stay in and wait it out. We will eventually get out of this Arctic pattern, but not now, not next week. And by all accounts, our meteorology team is looking at the first week of February being bitterly cold as well. Sorry to give you that bad news. If you had planned to head south sometime in the next couple of weeks, good for you. Great timing. What's going on is we've got a deep trough in the jet stream. We've got a very strong jet stream as well, which is typical in winter. These are upper level winds. They help to guide and also strengthen storm systems. We are seeing a departing low on our east coast, more lows coming in for Alaska, and some of that energy helps to strengthen storms like this. A blizzard in the north coming our way, and that means we've got wind chill warnings. Wind chill warnings for tonight, well ahead of the low, I might add, feeling like the -30s. Special weather statements for Toronto, Hamilton, and others, while there are snow squall watches to the east and blowing snow warnings to the north. And this is all because of the same storm system. It's coming from the far north. It's brought a blizzard today to the west side of Hudson Bay. You'll notice the isobars starting to multiply here. Couple things to take away. Okay, pressure gradient, that's what these are, technically speaking, scientifically speaking. The more there are, the stronger the wind. So this is a fairly ferocious low, and by Friday evening, the winds will be getting stronger around the GTA. Sustained 50 kilometers an hour, Gusts much stronger than that. That's going to add a real bite to the wind chill, although temperatures will go up a bit. And snow and blowing snow will ease slowly Saturday afternoon, but be prepared for whiteout conditions in open areas, exposed areas. Even the 401 can get those whiteouts, and the 407 too. And Sunday night, Monday, the next low that could affect the Monday morning commute. Now, I pointed out on the map off the top that there was high pressure. Let's take a look at some of the snow totals that Atlantic Canada has seen with the most recent blizzard, 37 centimeters, a tremendous amount. A cold start, and in case you didn't hear, below -18 this morning in Toronto, which was the 6th time this year compared to last year when we got down to -18 once. And it was actually a year ago today. What a week we've had. Record cold, -25 in Collingwood Wednesday. It was actually -37 yesterday morning in Muskoka, which, believe it or not, was not a record. -25 for Goderich, 21 below, 20.5 for Burlington. Wind chill warnings are back in place for overnight tonight through tomorrow morning. The reason for this, although our temperatures have rallied, I can't really say warmed up, but back into the minus teens. In the overnight, with the wind picking up, we'll have wind chills in the -30 range. And we've got a blizzard headed our way. It's quite a potent low in the territories. Lots of wind. Heading south, it doesn't have as big an impact for us in terms of a blizzard, but it will bring some pretty extensive blowing snow. So you might call it a blizzard, arguably. Either way you look at it, active weather. Details coming up. -19 for Toronto overnight, much colder than Winnipeg or the West. Moderated Pacific air here, and bitterly cold in Ottawa, Montreal, and in the South too. So much so that Tallahassee, Florida's sub-zero. Orlando isn't far off. And so what they're having to do in the Sunshine State is protect crops at sub-zero temperatures. Coming up, low pressure system from the north, snow, northern Ontario, winds picking up overnight tonight. They are out of the southwest. We will see a slight moderation in temperatures, but 50-kilometer-an-hour sustained winds as the snow starts to blow late day tomorrow. And that will cause some very low visibility, particularly if you're heading out of urban areas into more rural or open windswept areas. Low visibility all around southern Ontario late tomorrow and certainly through early Saturday. Long range forecast back into the deep freeze. Lots of cold air is with us into the weekend. And blowing snow again Sunday night into Monday, the next system. Meanwhile, today is a cleanup for parts of Canada. Halifax, heavy snow, close to 40 centimeters.
Mask.
Everyone's talking about the bitter cold temperatures. Eastern prairies, Ontario, Quebec. Cold polar vortex, #sundog, a trending topic for us on this January the 23rd. Irina Suki. Everyone look up now. The sun has a beautiful halo around it. Enjoying the view. Iconic stuff here in Toronto. The architecture, the Toronto streetcar going along King West, and that reflected sun image. And from Orange Coat Photography into the wild blue yonder. The look here, when we've got cold air, we've got sunshine, suspended ice crystals, you get those sundogs forming, going around the whole sky, writes Jason. #sundog, be part of the conversation.